Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Erlengrat. Those are kind of like the best earners that you can get, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to run them, because if I take 2 jobs, that means I've got to buy 2 lots of fertilizer, and then I've got to like juggle the actual fertilizer that I'm using. So we'd be wanting to do, I suppose I could have 1 fertilizer job running. And we have, because, like, I used to work for a contractor several years ago, and fertilizer and spraying was all done by just 1 employee. Now, the person that ran the contracting business, he's the one that would have been accepting the jobs from the farmers, like I'm doing right now, but he's not the one that went out and did the spraying jobs. That was done by 1 employee who ran the sprayer, and that was his job. He ran the sprayer. He had all the tickets for running a sprayer, every ticket you could possibly ever hope for running a sprayer, and he did the spraying and the fertilizer jobs, and that's all he did. He didn't do any other jobs at all. He just did spraying and fertilizing, and he would go around all different farms, and so different times of the year he'd work some quite long hours, and then other times of the year, he would have quite a bit of time off. He was paid annually rather than weekly wages. I think he did have a weekly pay packet or a monthly pay packet, but it was averaged over a year based on the hours that he'd done the previous year or something along those lines, so that he had a regular income. So that at certain times of the year, he would go 2 or 3 weeks. He'd have his regular holiday, but then he could have a few weeks where there was no spraying work to be done because of weather and other things, and then he would make up for it by working quite long hours when spraying could actually be done, when the weather allowed it, and so on and so forth. So that's generally how that sort of thing works. But there was only 1 person that did it. It wasn't lots. There wasn't a collection of people that went and did it. It wasn't like the person that owned a farm. He didn't do it all. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, possibly one of the first things that we want to, after we bought our own land, buying our own fertilizer spreader would seem to be sensible. Now, for this one, I've got all of these different fertilizer jobs. That's a spraying job. That's a spraying job. So I can take the spray from one and I can use that one on the next job and we can do spraying. And we've got fertilizer over here. That's spray again. Fertilizer over here. That's solid fertilizer. So that we can carry on from that one up there. And, well, that's it. Right, most of them are spraying jobs. Right, we're going to start, I am actually going to start doing this. We're going to start working through, and we're going to have 1 fertilizer job at a time, but we're going to do spraying jobs first. I'm going to work down through the list. So I'm going to take that one first. I'm going to go borrow items, like that. And we will come out of there. You can sit there and wait for a minute. We're just going to check on your progress over here. You should. You know, you might be able to finish this field with the seed that we've got. I don't know. Might be a bit touch and go on that one. Right, anyway. Let's go back to here. So, for this particular task, we have got the John Deere 6135M. We don't have any kind of front weight going on with this one. We do have a snazzy looking sprayer right here. So we're going to back up and we're going to hook that one on. We've got a capacity of 4,380. I'm going to go into, not big bags at all, I'm going to go into pallets right here. We want the fertilizer tank. It's 3,200 euros for 2,000 litres of fertilizer in there. I'm going to buy that one right there. I'm only going to buy 1. I'm going to just assume that 1 is sufficient. And then I'm going to move this one over next to that tank right there. And we're going to load that into our sprayer in there. So there, that's loading up. And you can see the dial just in behind the driver's seat in there, filling up quite nicely. There, I don't know if you can see that little dial right on the very right hand side of the screen right now. There's a dial that is now about halfway down that meter there. That one moved as we were filling up. Now, where is the field that we're working? We're working field 20. Right. So it's a good idea to find out what jobs we're doing and where. Oh, we're only just up the road. Right, it's a nice, easy one to get to. Okay. So I've got a choice. I can either go round the field manually myself the first time, or I can just set the hired help going and leave it at that. And this particular job, I'm not sure. We will take a look at the field and then we will make our assessment as to whether we want to do a little bit to start off with, just to make it so that the hired help doesn't do anything stupid, like drive into hedges and stuff. I think we will do a pass down this side. Down here. I think we will do that ourselves first. And then we'll do a pass up the other side over there as well. And then we'll come over here and we will start work on this end of the field. We've got a lovely wide sprayer. I do wonder if the 2,000 litres is going to be enough to do this, or if we're going to have wanted an extra tub of fertilizer. Didn't want to go and spend more than I had to. I know that I have got other spraying jobs coming up. We've got to take this one back to the dealership so that we can empty out the fertilizer from this and then go and use it for the next one. So, like, once I've done this bit down here, I'm going to turn it round and point it in that direction, and I'm just going to set the hired help going and leave it to it. And we can concentrate on, well, we got our baling to go and do. That's what we want to do. Let's go like that. Oops. Let's not do that. I was going to stop it there for a minute. I don't think I will. I'll go right to the end of the field. And then we'll stop it. Right, there. We'll do it like that. I don't want the AI extension on this. We'll use the standard hired help to do this job. I'll bring you around like that. And we will go up here like this. Right. Set the hired help going on there. Yes, I know the hired help is likely to upset the neighbouring farmer by driving over their crops up there, but what we don't see, well, we can't really do anything about, can we? And so long as we don't hear any complaints, we can't really do, there is nothing we can do about it. This job's nearly finished. We'll leave you go. We're going to get started on the baling. We need to get going with this. So slow you down, get started. Baler's unfolded. We've already checked it over. Everything seems to be tickety-boo. And we can get going. So we need to not only bale this field, we've then got to go back through and we've got to wrap all of this field. And that may take a minute or two. Get all of that done. 8 o'clock. Said that we were going to skip the night at 8 o'clock. And if we don't have a... Well, we're certainly not this the first few nights. We're not going to have enough money to have bought our own land. As soon as we have bought our own land, I'm going to buy the deck chair mod, and I'm going to stick that one down in a corner, and we'll park up our pickup truck right next to it, and we'll say, you know, we're camping out in our pickup truck. What we could see, it says right there, contract on Field 5 finished. But I am going to complete the job rather than stopping early and just doing where it says with the contract. We will actually complete the job, and we will sort of make a neat and tidy job of it all, if we can. We will try to do that. Take a bit of pride in our work. Now I'm going to drive right away along the bottom here because there's some little bits that got left. So if I take all of these little bits out, I want to be careful though. I'm going to end up leaving a bale right across the end of one of the rows. You watch. Oh, he's alright. He's not left on the end of the row. Okay, that's good. And then we'll come over here. We'll start working our way up this side. Up through here. That spraying job up there is only 1,500 litres gone on that tank at the moment, and he does seem to be doing okay. I'm liking this tractor and baler combination over here. The black Valtra is such a sleek and beautiful machine. Anyway, Helper H has completed their task. Let's go and check that one out. Let's go and see how we're getting on. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be entirely happy if my neighbour was doing this. They've skipped a patch over there as well, which we're going to have to... You know, sometimes the hired help does not make the job any easier, does it? You, however, you've done a wonderful job. You've done really nicely. So we're going to bring you over to the edge. We've only got 80 litres of seed left in here, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to leave that in there. Just 80 litres is not worth driving all the way back over and doing that. So we'll go in here and sowing right there. Reimbursement, 68 euros. That reimbursement is for the seed that we've still got left in the machine. I like that we do get that. That is nice. So there's £2.5 grand that we get for that one. Collect that little job right there. And Helper C has completed their task. Contracts income. This one's not finished. So you've got a bit there that you couldn't be bothered to do. And then there's a bit all the way over on this side of the field that you couldn't be bothered to do either, which is why we haven't got the contract complete yet. So we've got to finish this job off. So much for our hired help making life too easy for us. I'm having to go around and clean everything up for them. I don't want to do this on every job, because it's just going to end up getting tedious, isn't it? Right, contract is now finished. I got to finish the job, though. We can't leave this half done. Otherwise, the farmer is going to get very annoyed, and he won't know until the crop is growing much further, and then he'll see that we've gotten too much fertilizer. Well, actually, there is too much fertilizer. We've double sprayed in some places. That can be just as bad as not having enough. So we got too much in some places, and then we've double sprayed in some. We didn't spray in others. We're going to get some serious complaints about that. Now, the 1,300 litres of fertilizer that I've got left, I'm not going to leave it here in the field. So we're going to drive back over the dealership and empty that back out so that we can get ready to take the next job. And then as soon as I've done that, I can finish this job, and then I'll get another fertilizing contract, load up that liquid fertilizer into the next machine, and we will go on and do that job there. So let's just bring you in round here. But I think, really, one of the first sets, rather than worrying about trying to mow our own grass now after we've bought our first fields, so I'll take you here. You know, I could just keep the fertilizer on board and then go for the reimbursement, rather than doing it like that. It might actually just be easier, because we'll still get the reimbursement for it. 2,600 right there. Less this. Oh, no, that is the total. We've had the less than 600. So collect that bit right there. We've got one job that we're working on right now. So you, no, on that one right there. Is that the same? That might even be the same dude. No, I don't think it's the same dude that we're working for. Right. Borrow items. Right there. 6135M. It's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same farmer with the same. Well, I don't know. I genuinely can't. I don't. Well, maybe it's no. Was it the same farmer? I can't actually remember, but I think what we'll do for these future contracts, because we get the reimbursement with the fertilizer being returned, we'll just return it in the field like we've got this for the job, and the farmer is paying us for the fertilizer that we've used, so it's not like anybody's losing out anywhere, and then we haven't got to be constantly driving backwards and forwards across the map, which is going to end up just getting a bit tedious. So we want to get this one out to field 9 and get that job started, and then once that one's underway, we can get back to our baling job. We don't have any. There is some harvest work that we can go and do, but I don't really want to go and do harvest work at the moment. I want to finish that baling job. Alright, I had to stop for a coffee, but I've had the coffee. Let's carry on. Field I'm looking for is down the end here, and then out over that way, I think. Field 9, isn't it? Is it field 9 we're supposed to be doing? Yeah, it's field 9. Right, it's that one out over there. I think that's a sugar beet field, actually. Don't know that we'll be doing any sugar beet contracts. I don't really have a burning desire to go and do any sugar beet contracts. I mean, maybe that is something that you'd want to see. I don't know. That's a big commitment, though. Doing a sugar beet contract is a very, very big commitment. Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to cut you up like that. That is a very big commitment. Like, starting a sugar beet contract. Like, there's a lot of work involved with doing that. It's not just managing the harvester in the field. No, this isn't sugar beet at all. This is potatoes. This would be a potato contract. I just want to do that. And then need to unfold you. So I'll do pass along the bottom end, and then I will drive myself whizzing all the way down to the other end. And do a pass along there as well. Okay, let's go. Yeah, pass down here. I'll do a pass down the other end across there, and then I will set the hide help going. The reason I want to do a pass on each end is because I don't think this one is going to be able to turn around properly down there with all the trees and stuff in the way, unless I do something across the end of the field first, just to help it out. I'm also not entirely sure that the part tank of fertilizer that we've got is going to be enough. I'm hoping it will be, but it may not be. So let's turn that one off there, like that. And then bring you around here. If I fold that up, I'm not going to be doing too much damage to the neighbor's crop. That way he won't get all upset with me. That would be quite nice. Now I'm going to start unfolding it again like this. There, still holding it above the corn like that. Bring you in here. I'm going to need to just sort of back it out. There we go. I've unfolded it. There. I'll bring that one just up like that. That should be close. Yeah, that's plenty close enough to the edge. And then we can go whizzing along here at breakneck speed. Get right the way across the end of this field. And then the hired help should be able to do a few passes up and down there just to finish that job off. And then we can go and collect the money. And this time we'll just return the machinery from here rather than taking it all the way back to the shop. And we'll just get the refund on the fertilizer that's left in the tank, as that does seem to work quite nicely for us. Which means that we're then not driving around needlessly. It's going to certainly make it a bit easier for us. You know what? I'm going to go over to this side. And I'm going to drive down there, because otherwise what they'll end up with is a part slice down the side of the field where the worker is part in this field and part in the next field. And because that next field is quite a tall crop, it's going to end up damaging that. Well, not only is it going to end up damaging that crop, but it's also going to end up damaging this machine in here. I don't want vehicle extension for that. I want standard hide help. You go down that way. Okay, you carry on and do that. I'm hoping there's enough fertilizer there, or we are going to end up having to go back to the shop anyway, and I really don't want to have to do that. It's a long way to go. And we can get back to this one. Start you back up, and off we go. So we're going to get a whole load of bales out of this field. I'm not really sure how many we're going to get from this field. That is a nice thick crop of grass in here. We've got that rowing up machine over there, that wind rower. It's genuinely a thing of beauty, isn't it? It's absolute. It's what a wonderful machine that thing is. Like, I've seen it before, and I've sort of used it a little bit, but honestly, I've not fully appreciated just how good that one is until I started using it in the other series that I'm doing at the moment, my Hagenstedt map. And I started using it on that one a little bit, and oh my goodness, I have really, really come to appreciate that rake. It is absolutely fantastic. It really is. Like, the speed that it can go down across the field, and just how much product it gets into each and every row. It's just fantastic. And also it's really maneuverable. Like, you've got the Krone Swadro, which ends up pulling in a similar kind of windrow here. And I mean, I couldn't get the Krone Swadro to actually work at the moment, but I know, you know, there's an 18-meter spread on that thing. It's huge. So it's a great big old rake with 6 wheels on it. It's a big beast. And it does do a great job. It'll pull the stuff in like this. And if you're doing really big fields, that's kind of the answer. That's the sort of thing that you want to use. But for slightly smaller fields, like this one here and the other one that we've already done, and several of these other smaller fields, that beast over there, that merge max, that really is the answer. You can do it into smaller half rows if you want to. And then you can also go and put it into rows of this size by doing, I know you got to do a double pass, but it goes so fast up and down the field that really that double pass is not making any kind of difference to the overall speed that you get in the field done. Like, you're not going to be able to keep up with it with the baler. Well, I suppose actually you are. We're doing 20k. That one does, what's he do? He does 25k across the field or something obscene like that. And he goes racing up and down. But it really does shine in that you've got reversible direction, so you can choose where the windrow ends up. You can move it in from the edge of the field really tidily. There's all kinds of options for you to use to just keep everything neat and tidy when you're using it out in the field. And then on top of that, if you've got really small fields, like trying to get that Crone Swadro in around any kind of difficult field, any difficult corners, it's nigh on impossible. You need a lot of room. That one is designed for a big field where it's all spread out. If you've got anything that's compact and squat and a little bit difficult to access, the great big rakes, they're not really what you're after. They're not really going to work very well at all. The contract up there for the fertilizer is finished. Is he... What's he doing? He's completed... Oh, he's completed his task now. You're still running. Right, you're slowing down right here. Are you going to cruise your way off the edge of the map? You should do. This one should just cruise right off the edge of the map. That's something I really don't like, is the time that it takes. There we go, see? The time it takes from when those lights come on to the barrier to drop to the train to get there. Like, if you're going across there, if you're about there with a truck with a long trailer and the lights start going, it's difficult to stop in time, but also if you're going slow enough that you can stop in time, you get part way onto the track and then the lights start going. You can't get across the track before that thing's come down and pinned you in place. So it's like that something does irritate me a little bit with the way that works. Now you stopped a little tiny bit too early there, didn't you? So I do just need to finish this job. But for the most part, you actually did a really good job. And I'm also quite pleased with the way the sprayer there filled the full extent of the field on that one. So let's go here like this. We've got another contract there completed. And a reimbursement of 500 euros to pay back some of that fert. How much have we got? How much is 500 euros getting us? 450. So about a quarter of a tank. How much is a tank? 3,200. So 1,000 litres would be 1,600. 500 litres would be 800 euros. Cost us 800 euros for 500 litres. We got 450 in there. So take a tenth of that off. 800 euros, take a tenth off. The 720 euros that fertilizer cost us. And he's offering 200 down on that. So we lose money on any fertilizer that we send back. But it's not really worth sending back, going back for the 450. So we've lost a bit of money on that. So we've made 4 grand on this contract, though. And then you've got to take off wages. So we've lost a bit more. So it is costing us money, but we are earning a bit back. We're up to 18,000 now. Let's go on with this, shall we? Start you up again. Go on down through here. Yeah, I was singing the praises of that old Merge Max beauty. It is, yeah, It really does shine when you're working smaller fields, because you can still produce the massive, great big windrows like this. If you've got slightly uneven fields as well, where the Swadro would struggle and it would end up like leaving bits behind, the Merge Max is not going to leave those bits behind. It's going to be able to collect them, and it's going to allow you to, do everything that you want to do. And I think it's a wonderful machine, and I didn't appreciate it fully before. I kept looking at it thinking, yeah, well, I don't really want that, because it's not like really wide thing. So I was just thinking, we would just want one wide pass. So I didn't appreciate the versatility and beauty of that machine until I started using it just recently on the Hagenstead series. And I think that Merge Max over there is definitely something that we want to get for our farm eventually, that we'll be building up to, although it's not something we'll be able to get straight away, because it is over $100,000 to go and buy. It's a little bit pricey. Yeah, I did mention last week that I wanted some... Well, I'm assuming it's going to be last week by this point. I'm looking at how long I've been recording now. What kind of targets are we going to be looking for finishing up this map? I didn't actually suggest any myself, just kind of wanting to get some ideas. I don't know yet what anybody has suggested. If we haven't had any suggestions, then I'll put this going again. What do you want to see? I'm wondering if maybe we say, 2 full pens of cattle or something like that. Not going to worry about having to fill them right up to the top with food, so long as they've got food there to keep them going. We're happy with that, but 2 full pens of cattle. Now, something that I was thinking of using in this series is in here. We will go animal pens. Do I have them in here? I don't, but it's the Stevie pens. It's the Stevie animal pens. They're not the base game ones. The base game ones, the cows, we can get 300 cows in the base game one. The Stevie animal pen, it comes with a couple of rather nice added extras. You can get a water thing put in there so that you don't have to manually fill them with water each time. You don't have to go and get a water tanker and manually fill them up, which I think is an absolutely wonderful idea, because I've never, ever worked on a farm, and I've worked on quite a few different farms. I've never even heard of a farm that has hundreds of cows and is unable to actually pipe water to the water trough. Right? That is just the most ridiculous thing. So the idea of having to bring tanker loads of water to our cows, I don't like I know that it does happen in some parts of the world. I just don't see it happening here in this map. So having a mod that does actually allow us to pipe the water to the cows makes a lot of sense. That, to me, does make a lot of sense. I was wondering if we had any little tiny bits of grass kicking around. I only need 170 litres to make one final bale, but that's not going to happen. That's not 170 litres there. I don't know how many litres that will be. There is one little tiny patch there. See that? What have we got? That was 10 litres. Don't think there's anything left down over here. I think I already picked it all up. I could go and get the mower on the front. Well, unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. So while I sit up here and enjoy this view and a well-earned break, could you please consider taking a look at the links in the description down below? We have Nitrado, who provide gaming servers, who are very, very reliable, and they provide us with a server on our Discord channel. And there is also Fanatical, where you can buy all kinds of different computer games for various different platforms. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.